got a 3 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
The amount of guards who were dismissed was kind of surprising. You'd think it'd be higher, but that was interesting. And the amount of people in state prisons is way higher than I thought. So that was kind of a big thing to me.
I would say the percentages of African Americans to white were surprising. They were more equal than I would have thought.
The worst one was definitely the fact that LGBTQ plus people are like 97 more times likely to be like assaulted in any kind of way.
I had an idea of how many drug-related offenses there were, which is a lot, and that kind of makes me upset because we're legalizing a lot of those things now, and a lot of other developed countries have legalized like marijuana, and a huge portion of our prison population is in prison for those things that are legal in other countries. So what is your understanding of the prison industrial complex?
-0. I don't even know what that is.
What is my understanding of the prison industrial complex? I have no idea.
So, the prison industrial complex, to my understanding, is essentially a neoliberal construct wherein the statist method of locking up those deviant to societal norms, that process is intertwined with the profit-making system inherent in a capitalist, corporatist culture that we have in the United States. Thus, people are punished for deviance to social norms with having to work in order to make a profit for those who establish those norms.
What vision of society comes to my mind when I hear the term prison abolition?
I don't know about prison abolition. I'm sure that implies like rehabilitation and like other things, not like the actual abolition of like criminalizing things and putting people in jail for it.
I don't know, I think of like freedom, or people wanting freedom within like the prisons, jails, all that stuff.
When I hear the term prison abolition, I more or less think of a society that is more based on communities solving their own issues.
How do you think the prison industrial complex includes acts of administrative violence within its policies?
I would say the biggest thing here is the unequal balance between crimes when they're compared to each other.
Mandatory unpaid work in their prisons, which is essentially slavery. But the vast majority of the states around the country still can force their prisoners to do work without pay, which is slavery.
What crimes are considered bad or like worth this amount of sentence is not consistent from case to case. Whether that be because of sex or race or identification, like regardless of what it is, it's not consistent.
So I think that when I think of the prison industrial complex, I think of a lot of corruption, but I also think of people working without compensation.
It's kind of sad that like you have to buy like tampons, that they don't just like give it to you because it's something that you need.
Transgender and gender nonconforming individuals are often subject to violence within the prison industrial complex. What is the best way to prevent such individuals from abuse?
Well, obviously the most ideal solution would be to outlaw the prison industrial complex as a whole.
That's a hard question.
But since that's not going to happen for quite some time, educating guards and then essentially making examples out of guards who go ahead and abuse transgender, gender non-conforming individuals.
I wouldn't want to say like segregate them, but like I think it would literally be safer to have them in their own area. Do you think that a construct not aimed at making money can exist within a capitalist society?
That's interesting.
No.
I don't know.
I hope so.
No. Capitalist society is essentially dominated entirely by the goal and aim of making money.
I mean, you could argue that nonprofits are those. However, there's a lot of corruption there as well.
Because we are human beings, and human beings aren't always motivated by like desire to make money. But when you're talking about like businesses and like things that exist within like a society where money is survival, I don't necessarily know.
But is it possible for it to exist right now?
No, because capitalism is like basically based around money.
Probably not.
does a rehabilitation-based prison system look like?
Not really a prison, but it resembles more the sort of mental hospitals that we can see sort of in the United States. Obviously in the United States, those are still atrocious. However, you're not being locked up in such a brutal and punitive and barbaric fashion.
I think that's all about attitude. I'm not sure that a lot of the actual systematic way in which it's done would change a whole lot. What does my ideal criminal punishment system look like?
A pile of rubble on the ground of the United States.
I don't think it should be based on punishment. I think if people have proven to be too violent for society, they should be kept out of society, but I don't necessarily think that's punishment.
But Norway's looked pretty good, so I'm gonna go with theirs. But I mean, I'm sure theirs has issues just like everyone else does, but theirs is definitely a step up from America's.
For instance, when a parent punishes their child, it's out of concern, it's out of good intention. It's not just to punish. And I think that should be our treatment towards everyone.
And I think the justice system should be fair, and everybody should have equal access to, like lawyers, and should receive the same punishment for the same crime, no matter like your identity or your circumstances. So.
I'm sad now.
It makes me want to learn more. I want the answers.